said, friends that are all on the same playing field, or clans on the same playing field. But at the same time, I think this game unlocks fairly quickly. I think you'll see probably in the next month or so, a lot of people will be pretty high up in the levels. So it's an issue right now, but it might not be. It'll be a little less of an issue pretty soon.
That's
but still,
obviously
I think,
true.
I still think that as we add more things to the game, that people are going to want that kind of level playing field. So I agree. We had it on our list, but we just couldn't get it in for this first release. But I think that's something we might be able to add.
So, also another one here quickly about the server controls and all that. One guy wanted to know if it would be possible, now that you're talking about all perks allowed, no perks allowed, if it would be possible to limit some perks, or maybe limiting some unlocks, something like that. Maybe put a limiter on it in any way, if that's something you put on your list as well.
Okay, noted.
Because some other perks can seem quite overpowered in the right hands and stuff, and if someone's going to learn how to use them in a proper way, they might be exploited. Also, mentioning the password thing with ranked servers, there's also a high chance of somebody, stats padding in a way with the password is serviced, just going into a server, 4 guys with a password on it so nobody disturbs them and just go to town on each other, basically, That's not really the thing I don't guess you guys want this to happen, at least.
No.
And also, will it be possible in the future to pause and unpause a match during mid-game or a round? That's mainly something the competitive players want to see happen.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Oh, like a way to pause or unpause a round mid-game.
Admin pause from the console.
Yeah, an admin pause, basically.
Admin pause. Okay.
If somebody disconnects during a game or times out or something like that. If that would be possible.
It's definitely interesting. Hayden, you writing some of these things down? It's a pretty good one.
Admin pause is on our feature list at the moment. We are definitely planning to implement it. Yeah.
Alright.
We have heard the suggestion before.
We have a list, don't worry. We will give you a list.
Because I know a lot of people were kind of frustrated about the pause on pause, and also the fact that you couldn't really do a quick restart of a round. Currently there's only a next round option, I think, from the admin tools released. So is there a way for you guys to maybe implement a quick restart without the teams being mixed together and stuff like that in the future?
Yeah, certainly. Team locking is very much something that we do want to support as well. But in general, we'd like to be able to allow users to travel to any map in their rotation at any given point in time with or without a restart.
Alright. Well, Stoner, you have a lot of gameplay questions, I could tell earlier. So maybe it's time for you to address some of the problems.
I don't know where to start, actually. Let me have a look at my little list.
I don't know where to start. Oh god.
There's good things. There's so much good and stuff that needs addressing due to... Well, it's mainly just for the... I mean, you said a lot of stuff about the squads, spawn system, and unlocking servers so you can unlocks or no unlocks. Clan system is a great idea. It's early days yet, and guys with a bit of support turn out to be something enjoy playing and actually play.
Can I just interrupt for a second? Is he the only one breaking up for me, or does it happen to you guys as well?
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's probably because I'm streaming.
Oh well, I'll just keep going. I got loads of questions from all the viewers. Well, there's one here. There's one here from Red Bullet. He's asking if you guys are planning on implementing any future game modes, such as capture the flag and that stuff, whatever that stuff is. You guys thought about any future game modes or anything? Maybe implement. I know this is probably secret in case you have, but well, just say so.
It sounds secret.
They're closing in on Bravo.
I missed a bit of that question. Can you repeat the end?
Did
of it?
you? All right. It was Rebel. He's asking if you guys were planning on implementing any different game modes in the future, like capture the flag and such.
Yeah, we're not releasing any of that information this time.
No, that's what I was thinking. All right. And you mentioned the admin tool and a lot of nice stuff you're going to add to it in the future, Frank. I don't know if you want to talk a bit about that now. I said, obviously, you said lots of the info was up on the VQ, or maybe Ed Mar is the one that should be talking about that. I'm not sure.
I think Hayden's actually really close to it.
Or maybe Hayden. Well,
yeah, I think Hayden would be good.
For some of the future options. For the admins, obviously. If you can speak anything about that, Hayden.
Yeah, what in particular would you like to know about it? We are planning on releasing the dedicated server tool and the dedicated server in the fairly near future. But it's quite well fleshed out. Generally, the way we've developed it is we've made proof of concepts of a number of use cases that we would like people to be able to use for the third-party tools, such as auto balancing, moving people around and keeping clans together on the dedicated server, things like that. That way, our dedicated server executable has all the functionality that people who develop third-party Archon tools could possibly want, so that they can make their tools as good as they can.
Alright, because I think... Alright, go on.
Well, I think what you're trying to say, it'll be open, so be able to. There'll be like tools like Procon will be able to patch into it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
The dedicated server tool that we have developed in-house uses the dedicated server executable and just Archons to it in a generic kind of manner. But we've just made sure that it supports a very large array of functionality. So third-party tools such as Procon would be able to utilize it quite effectively.
Okay, so there's going to be plenty of ways to make improved admin tools that makes for greater handling of the service and stuff like that. That's good to know. That's very important for us clan players, as you already know, I guess.
Yeah, the dedicated server tool that we'll be shipping with the dedicated server does have a very large array of functionality built in, but I'm sure that third-party Archon developers can customize it in ways that their users would like as well.
Alright.
It was one of the things we spent quite a bit of time over at combat testing, ensuring that was properly set up was the current dedicated server tool, because we use that exclusively for most of our testing. So we requested features be added in, and in addition, you mentioned Procon. The Procon developer is actually also one of our guys over at combat testing, and he's been working hand in hand with trying to get out the best version he can on that. He's not present with us, obviously, here on this communication, but he's well versed in the exact setup and how it's working.
All right.
Seems to be the tool to go for right now, campers. Anyway.
Yeah.
Server.
Definitely. And also, I mean, just the fact if you have a working, well-functioning admin tools, it makes such a difference compared to well, I won't mention any names in any other games, but well. I think you know what I'm talking about, Stoner. And well, also just the fact that you can restart around, move players around, all that stuff. It's very important and very basic things, really. But they just seem to be missing in many games right now, many multiplayer games. So that's really good to know that you guys are thinking about that.
Yeah, one thing we spent a bit of time on is reaching out to the dedicated server, the hosting community. People who run companies renting servers, as well as private individuals who run their own servers. And on Frontlines, we really didn't get a chance to talk to too many of them until later in the development, so we couldn't implement a lot of stuff we wanted to do. So we learned our lesson, and on Homefront, we started talking to a lot of people very early on to make sure that we were taking feedback from everyone we could reach out to, including the Archon developers. and some great server admins who said, "Oh man, you got to do this, you got to do this." You know, other games don't do this, and it's so make our job so much easier. So we really did a good job, I think, at reaching out to everybody and sharing our dedicated server build with good folks who could provide valuable feedback. And Hayden was very, very good at implementing pretty much almost everything that was really asked for.
Yeah, well, it's just it makes people like Stoner and I really happy to hear that you're actually reaching out to people early on to get any feedback, because that's really also something that's been missing in some of the games we've been trying to play and trying to stream and stuff over the past years. So
well, with you guys being such a competitive group and the competitive play being so founded in the way we helped develop this. I mean, when Combat Studios came into the scene, that was what we pounded on from day one, was the competitive play features, because of our own Tournament of Duty setup that we run. We ran for years for BF2, we've run for BF 2142, for BC2, and now as Homefront, as the official tournament for Homefront. So that was one of the things we pounded in from the start of our development cycle, was making sure this was as tournament and clan friendly as possible.
All right.
Well, Dave can speak to the tournament features if you like.
Sorry, say that.
Yeah, we haven't actually as far as we haven't got the server files released at the moment. But what are the LAN features of the game? Is there obviously you thought about guys playing in tournaments LAN mode within the game, but with is that something that you planned on from the start, to have this game being played in tournaments, or was it more of an afterthought?
I'd have to say it was thought from the start, but the actual feature implementation, of course, we contributed quite a bit for the different things. Some of the admin features, the ability to swap members and teams, things like that. Those were all taken from suggestions from Combat Studios. And in fact, as Hayden's mentioned, his wish list that he runs, he still has our old wish list. Those are all things to be implemented in the furthering development. They just couldn't be fit in prior to the final the initial release. But we did have that in mind from the get-go, I'm sure. And I know THQ has always considered that part of their priorities.
All right.
Great.
I've been told that some of the players we're about to shoutcast Stoner really want to get going soon, so I think we're busy. But one of
the guys have done an hour already,
yeah,
so
that's true.
They could take a break for half an hour or an hour. We could stream the match, and if any of the guys are still with us, then we could continue after the match with some of the guys that have actually played the game tonight in competitive versus match, the Epsilon versus VIP, if any of the guys are up for that.
There's one guy here, Frank, I don't know if you guys have any numbers yet, but he wanted to know how much you guys sold yet, how many copies. I think obviously it's a hard thing to keep track of, but if you have any official numbers out yet.
I mean for PC only?
Yeah. I don't know really, but he's a PC player, so I guess it's the PC numbers he's interested in.
Well, I can't release numbers obviously because it's a public company, but I can say that we've hit quite a few records at THQ so far, especially for the pre-order sales, and even we're well on our way. We had a lifetime achievement. I can't tell you what that number is, but which means over the next year, how many units you think we'd get, and we think we'll hit that very, very quickly.
All right.
I think one thing that was announced, it was like 400,000, almost 375,000 on day one.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
One guy mentioned 400K. I guess that's 400,000 on the first day in North America. He said he read somewhere.
Yeah. And that's one day. That's pretty crazy.
That's a lot of units sold one day. A few quick questions here before we move on to the actual game we're here to stream. There's many guys who want to know if you can give like an ETA on the next big patch, or at least what fixes are on top of your agenda for this future patch.
Sure. So I can say, well, first, safe harbor, right? I can't anything I tell you, it doesn't mean it's going to actually be released at that time.
No.
Sure.
But I can tell you that we're in QA on our first patch, and well, I think that was actually